Hello, and a very warm welcome to the garden. It's a real pleasure to have you with me today. There's a particular kind of magic that happens in a garden. You know, a quiet conversation between plants, soil, and insects. Today, we're going to listen in on one of those conversations, focusing on a humble yet indispensable resident of the vegetable patch, the onion. We'll be exploring 14 essential companion plants that, when grown alongside your onions, can truly transform your harvest, creating a healthier, more resilient, and productive plot. I find that the most successful gardens are those that work with nature, not against it. By understanding the relationships between different plants, we can create a thriving ecosystem right in our own back gardens. I promise you, by the end of our time together, you'll look at your vegetable beds in a completely new light, seeing them not as rows of individual plants, but as a community working in harmony. I do hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Now, let's get our hands in the soil and begin. Our first companion is perhaps one of the most well-known, and for very good reason, the carrot. This is a classic partnership, a perfect example of mutual benefit in the vegetable patch. The strong, pungent aroma of the onion is wonderfully effective at confusing and repelling the carrot root fly, a pest that can cause so much devastation to a carrot crop, tunneling into the roots and rendering them inedible. It's a simple, organic form of defense that is remarkably effective. In return, the carrots offer their own protection. The delicate, feathery foliage of the carrot releases a scent that helps to deter the onion fly. When planting, I find it's best to intersperse the rows. A row of onions, then a row of carrots, and so on. This creates a much more effective barrier of confusing scents than planting a block of each. It's a technique I have relied upon for years, and it has never once let me down. Next, let us consider the beet. Unlike the carrot and onion pairing, which is built on pest deterrence, the relationship between beets and onions is one of peaceful coexistence. They draw upon different nutrients from the soil, and their root systems occupy different levels, meaning they don't get in each other's way. This is a crucial aspect of intensive gardening, ensuring that you can get the most out of every square inch of your plot without one crop suffering at the expense of another. You'll find that when grown together, both your onions and your beets will develop into strong, healthy specimens. Now for a leafy green, the lettuce. This is a wonderful example of how a strong plant can shelter a more delicate one. Lettuce, particularly in its younger stages, can be quite vulnerable to a range of pests, including aphids and slugs. By interplanting lettuce with onions, you provide a natural protective barrier. The strong scent of the allium family is a powerful deterrent for many of these common pests. Lettuce has a shallow root system and provides a living mulch, its broad leaves helping to shade the soil. This keeps the ground cool and moist, which is beneficial for the shallow-rooted onions. I find this especially useful for cut-and-come-again varieties of lettuce, as you can harvest the outer leaves while the central plant continues to grow, all under the watchful eye of its onion companions. So it might seem like an unusual pairing at first glance, growing a pungent vegetable next to a sweet, delicate fruit. But planting onions amongst your strawberry plants is actually a classic and highly effective strategy. Strawberries are susceptible to a whole host of pests, from aphids to spider mites, and the strong aromatic compounds released by the onions are just excellent at repelling them. The growth habits of the two plants are also perfectly compatible. The onions grow vertically, taking up very little lateral space, which allows the strawberry plants to sprawl and send out their runners without being impeded. Think of it as creating a multi-layered defense system. The strawberries provide a low-growing ground cover while the onions stand tall, their scent wafting over the patch. Members of the cabbage family, the brassicas, are a staple in many vegetable gardens, but they are notoriously plagued by a number of determined pests. The cabbage white butterfly, whose caterpillars can strip a plant of its leaves in a matter of days, is a constant challenge. This is where the onion steps in as a formidable guardian. The powerful aroma of the onion is honestly one of the best defenses against these fluttering pests. It masks the scent of the brassica, making it much harder for the butterfly to find a suitable place to lay its eggs. By interplanting your cabbages, broccoli, kale, or Brussels sprouts with rows of onions, you are creating a powerful scent barrier that confuses and repels these destructive insects. Seeing a bed of cabbages, their leaves pristine and free from caterpillar holes, growing alongside their onion protectors, is a deeply satisfying sight for any gardener. Tomatoes are, without a doubt, one of the most popular crops to grow at home, but they are not without their troubles. Aphids in particular can be a real nuisance, clustering on the tender new growth and sucking the sap from the plant. weakening it and potentially spreading disease. While there are many ways to deal with aphids, one of the simplest preventative measures is to plant onions nearby. I like to plant a border of spring onions or chives around the base of my tomato plants. This creates a fragrant perimeter that aphids are reluctant to cross. At the very least, you get the proven benefit of aphid deterrence and a handy crop of onions right where you need them for your tomato sauces. Much like their relatives the tomatoes, peppers can also benefit greatly from having onions as neighbors. Peppers, both sweet and hot varieties, are another favorite target for aphids and other sap-sucking insects. Planting onions nearby provides that same aromatic shield we've discussed, making your pepper plants a much less attractive target for these pests. I often plant a row of onions in between my rows of pepper plants. The onions mature a little earlier, and once they have been harvested in mid to late summer, it opens up more space and allows for better air circulation around the pepper plants. It's a spicy partnership that delivers excellent results in the vegetable patch. Now we turn to a companion that offers a more subtle yet profound influence, the gentle herb, chamomile. This is a truly wonderful plant to have in the garden, not just for its pretty daisy-like flowers and calming tea, but for the benefits it bestows upon its neighbors. When planted near onions, chamomile is said to act as a plant doctor. It has natural antifungal and antibacterial properties, which can help to improve the general health and vitality of the plants around it. Chamomile is also known to attract beneficial insects to the garden. Hoverflies and predatory wasps, which are drawn to its delicate flowers, are voracious predators of aphids and other pests that might trouble your onions. But perhaps the most intriguing claim about this pairing is that chamomile can actually improve the flavor of the onions grown alongside it. Many experienced gardeners swear that onions grown with chamomile have a sweeter, more robust taste. Swiss chard, with its beautiful vibrant stems and large crinkly leaves, is a fantastic crop for any garden. When it comes to companionship with onions, the primary benefit is one of excellent space management. The growth habits are perfectly complementary. The onions grow tall and slender, taking up very little room above ground. The Swiss chard produces its large leaves from a central point, growing upwards and outwards. I particularly enjoy the visual appeal of this combination. The jewel-toned stems of the bright light Swiss chard, set against the cool green of the onion tops, create a stunning display. It's a reminder that a productive vegetable garden can also be incredibly beautiful. So, if you're looking to get the absolute most out of your garden space while creating a visually pleasing patch, pairing Swiss chard and onions is an excellent strategy. Spinach is another leafy green that gets along splendidly with onions. Much like lettuce and Swiss chard, this is a relationship based on compatible growth habits and mutual benefit. Spinach is a cool season crop, often planted in the spring or autumn. Onion sets are also planted during these times, so their growing seasons align perfectly. The upright onions provide a bit of shelter without casting too much dense shade, which can be beneficial for spinach, as it can be prone to bolting or going to seed in intense heat and sun. The onions can provide a touch of dappled shade that helps to keep the soil cooler. By keeping the soil temperature down, you can often extend your spinach harvest by a week or two, which is a real bonus for any gardener. When the time comes to harvest your spinach, the onions are often still growing, ready for a later harvest. This staggered harvesting is another efficient aspect of the pairing. Here we have another herb, a less common but incredibly valuable companion summer savory. This aromatic herb has a long-standing reputation among gardeners for being a wonderful companion to alliums, and especially to onions. It is said to have a twofold benefit. It not only helps to deter certain pests, but is also widely believed to enhance both the growth rate and the final flavor of the onions. Many gardeners who use this pairing report that their onions seem more vigorous and develop larger bulbs when summer savory is nearby. The theory is that the herb exudes beneficial compounds from its roots that stimulate the growth of the onions. Summer savory is a delightful herb in its own right, with a taste somewhere between thyme and pepper, and it's wonderful with beans and in stews. So even if you are skeptical about the flavor-enhancing properties, you are still gaining a pest-repelling herb and a delicious culinary ingredient. No discussion of companion planting would be complete without mentioning the cheerful, hard-working marigold. These vibrant flowers are more than just a pretty face in the garden. They are powerful allies in the fight against soil-borne pests. French marigolds, in particular, are renowned for their ability to combat root knot nematodes, those microscopic worms that can cause immense damage to the root systems of many vegetables, including onions. By planting marigolds as a border around your onion patch or interspersing them among the rows, you are effectively sanitizing the soil and creating a protective zone for your onion bulbs to develop in. They also attract beneficial insects like hoverflies and ladybirds, which are excellent predators of common garden pests. For the health of your soil and the protection of your onion roots, planting marigolds is one of the wisest and most cheerful decisions a gardener can make. Dill is another fantastic herb to invite into your onion patch, but its primary role is slightly different from some of the others we've discussed. Dill is what I like to call a beneficial magnet. Its delicate umbrella-shaped flower heads are an irresistible draw for a whole host of helpful insects. Predatory wasps, lacewings, ladybirds, and hoverflies are all strongly attracted to dill flowers. By planting dill near your onions, you are essentially setting up a refueling station for your garden's security team. Lacewing larvae, in particular, are incredibly voracious predators, earning them the nickname aphid lions. A single larva can consume hundreds of aphids before it pupates. By attracting the adult lacewings with dill, you are encouraging them to lay their eggs amongst your vegetables. However, it's best to let some of your dill plants go to flower to achieve the full benefit, so don't harvest all of it for pickles. This beautiful feathery herb is not just a culinary delight. It's a living, breathing insectary that will help to keep your onions healthy and pest-free. Finally, we come to the parsnip, a close relative of the carrot. And just as onions help to protect carrots, they offer the very same courtesy to parsnips. The main adversary for the parsnip grower is, unsurprisingly, the carrot root fly. This pest doesn't discriminate between the two root vegetables and will happily lay its eggs at the base of your parsnip plants, leading to the same tunneling larval damage that ruins the roots. By interplanting your parsnips with onions, you are once again employing that brilliant strategy of scent camouflage. The strong, sulfurous aroma of the onions masks the sweet, earthy scent of the parsnips, making it much more difficult for the carrot fly to locate its target. It's a tried and tested method that significantly reduces the chances of a devastating infestation, allowing your parsnips to grow long, straight, and undamaged. Parsnips are a long-season crop, often staying in the ground well into the winter, long after the onions have been harvested. This is a simple, logical, and highly effective pairing that I would recommend to any gardener fond of this delicious winter staple. And so, there we have it. 14 companions, 14 different relationships, all working to help your onions thrive. From the pest-repelling prowess of carrots and marigolds to the subtle, health-boosting influence of chamomile, each partnership offers a unique benefit. By embracing these combinations, you move beyond simply planting vegetables and begin to curate a community, a living ecosystem where plants actively support and protect one another. This approach doesn't just lead to a healthier, more productive garden, it creates a more resilient one, less dependent on sprays and interventions. I truly hope this has inspired you to look at your own vegetable patch with fresh eyes and to experiment with some of these pairings. Please do share your favorite companion planting combinations or any questions you might have in the comments section below. The collective wisdom of a community of gardeners is a powerful thing indeed. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a real pleasure to share this time with you. If you found this helpful and wish to continue exploring the wonders of the garden with me, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, happy gardening!